technical. Then at least I can start explaining what happened. I got a phone call and I thought I was muted, and because of privacy reasons, yeah, I kind of need to delete it. Not much was said that could be great. I don't want that. I think I don't. No, I need this one. No, I don't need this one. I don't want that. Was it? Oh, it's over here. 40 minutes en verwijderen. Video verwijderen. Okay. So, sorry I had to delete it. I also need to delete it somewhere else. Great. So the mute button on my microphone does not mute. Those are my videos. Your videos. There we go. So yeah, sorry about that. Just happened. Sometimes you get a phone. I suspected it would be a spam call, but it was not. Just means I'm getting a different challenge. It's this one. Delete forever. I understand that I want to delete it forever. Yeah, that's the downside with streams. Just gonna check something. Okay, so the M button. Okay, so am I streaming here now as well? Apparently I am. Just let me check it. Live. Testing the sound. Yeah. Yep, I'm absolutely streaming again. Thank you, and we're back on the regular broadcast schedule, whatever. And well, all you had missed is that I painted with one hand, which was kind of tricky, but I did it. I want a different color for the belt and his bracelets, because otherwise it will be too much. Fortunately, the hammer and the shirt have the same color, but that's something future Kim will have to deal with. So next time I know I need to mute myself a little bit better. Where's my thingy thing? Okay. So if you did hear it, please forget it. It was not important anyway. I think I'm gonna need to add a little bit of water in here. Luckily, I just tapped a lot of water. I was very smart to have a secondary bottle of water ready. So the empty bottle has been filled to the brim. It's a little bit more water. It's a bit gunky. Good thing I'm wearing an apron. So yes, it means the paint will be a bit thinner for a while. But at least I don't have to toss it or remix it just yet. Okay. Was that a different gray? I think this was a different gray. It was a bit darker gray. Okay, so then ready to dry, which you already did, by the way. This is dry enough. I know we should do canopy, but this is a more priority than canopy anyway. Cool. Wait. I'm gonna need a new rag. A fresh rag. Maybe I should get myself a big jar where I can put the dirty paint water in. Which means I need to use some for cooking, but I don't have really much big jars for cooking. Still don't have anything big here, right? No. Hereby, if you have a big jar, cleaned, of course, and with big, I mean bigger than this and bigger than this. So I can toss in dirty paint water while I'm streaming. That would be nice. Big open hole. This is, by the way, my own white blend, so that's why it's so good. Usually use it for dotting eyes. But yeah, I need a big jar for me to toss in my dirty paint water. I only have small jars. Oh wait, I have a big jar. See, still have a big jar. I used it for something else, and then I decided to repurpose it. There we go. Let's see. Gunk. And then I can toss this into the trash. This one is more or less cleaned up already. There we go. And this can easily be tossed out. Why didn't I think of this sooner? I know I'm diluting my dirty paint water, but it's fine. That's fine. Getting there, getting there. By the looks of it, I may only need 1 or 2 coats of the good white. And this rag is pretty much done. I might actually start collecting dirty rags and put that in the jar of dirty paint water. Great, I just put my plate over the green, and I need my green. How about you go here? Turn and turn. Green. I think this is the Caterpie green anyway. And the yellow. Oh, see, it's drying now. It's almost the same color. I'm so good at that. Patting myself on my shoulder. This was the good white. Is this still? Put that over here. Don't need it anyway. Caterpie is almost done, by the way, so which is good considering I don't have much of this green left. Ooh, are you starting to get gunky? I think I need to put it away with a little bit of water. The nice thing about this green is that it dries up textured, a bit velvety-like. It was made of crappy green that, well, turned velvety. Yeah, got a piece almost done. And his eye is supposed to be black, which I'm doing when I'm almost done. I'm gonna put a little bit of water in here. So I'm probably gonna have to refill this bottle afterwards. Well done, well done. Rejuvenated. Just add water. Wasn't there a whole series about that? Need to learn to put it there. Okay, I can almost do Gios's eyes. I mean, priority projects are the ones that need to be done first, so can only move on when I can't work on the priority projects. And yes, that cat is still drying behind me, and he looks kind of like black right now. That's the downside of this paint. It dries up quite black. But it's not black. You can dry. And you, I'm gonna gesso. Gesso, because I'm almost done with this jar. Ooh, opening in once. And you might think this is a bit of a weak freebie for the coming year for Mermaid, but you can make it as big as you want, of course. I just made it small. And so this is the smallest you can print it on, and of course you can make it bigger. There we go. That was it. Just gessoing. Blasting the bubbles. Might need a second gesso coat. Who knows? Who knows? Okay. There we go. It's time for the eyes. Ta-da-da-dum. Just dropped. Seriously, guys? I have one dedicated. It's technically an eyeliner brush for the eyes, so that one remains white. Because it has dried up acrylics in there, it's a nice stiff paint. And that would make Sisse pretty much ready for photography. Just need to do the lines. And the sides will be done when I have more characters ready for the sides. But at least this one is done for picture taking. And that gives me a lot less stress. Sure, I could still do the mica powdering, the eyeshadowing, the pastelling, whatever you want to call it. But that isn't necessary for the pictures. Sisse is pretty much done. Hills coin. Yeah, that one's done. Okay. Gios's eyes, not done yet. because I need darker brown in here. Not the darkest brown. That's a bit too much. Okay, the pupils are uneven. That's better. Probably gonna need to add a little bit of yellowish highlights before doing the shinies. But Gio's almost done. What else? What else? What else? Back to the list. Spring, Graven, Caterpie, Den, Kasumi, Yumi's done, Mermaid Accessory. Well, drying, Mink. Which color was Mink? It's quite a yellowish skin tone. So I think that would be this one. Yeah, this one. That is nice. I have a couple of these nice brush standards and I just don't use them. Okay, so this is our more or less fashionista. I think it's a bit too thick, considering I have more time for him. I'm just going to dilute it slightly. And I'm well aware I need to still print a few characters, trace a few characters, draw a few characters. So I'm not done yet. If I put my rags into the dirty paint water, it can soak up the paint and then it won't go into the sewer. So that might actually be a good idea. See, been doing this for about, well, more than a year now. Yeah, this is second year, end of the second year, and I'm still learning new things. Which is fine. I mean, we're here to learn. No messages. Where am I getting a message from? At least it's not a phone call this time. Let me check. Let me check. Not a bad notification. It's a good notification. Like I said, I personally prefer more brighter colors. But sometimes you have to stay in character. But if you buy this design, feel free to give him other colors. Turn it into a character you use for Dungeons and Dragons or whatever, role-playing. The only thing you're not allowed to do with this is make money out of it. There's probably something else you're not allowed to do with it, but I haven't thought of that yet, so. What was this? Yeah, this is dry, I'm well aware. Just wondering if I can reuse this, but it looks like this one is pretty much dried out. These containers, they're lovely, but only for short term. Because it really, really dry, it doesn't close well, so oh, that was luckily a paint sliver. For a moment I worried it was part of the blade. And we can still use it. Perfect for paint. You need to save for maybe 1 or 2 weeks. I have another stash of paint jars like this. And I'm looking at it right now. I still need to open it, but one looks kind of black. So that's probably something I'm going to do in the summer. And then toss the paint. As you can see, I get distracted easily because I was supposed to be painting Ren, but I was looking if I still had my cup of crappy white paint. I think this was it. Hey, at least this one can be used for mixing something small that doesn't need to be saved for long. There we go. More or less usable again. Meanwhile, could think about the white. I think I'm going to add a little bit of water to this as well. It's starting to get thick and chunky, which Might be nice, but in the end, I don't want this whole jar to go to waste. Just a little bit, because it's not that dried out yet. Maybe you're gonna use this thing to create stars one day. There's not much I have of this color. Can't recall which color. And there is a shimmer in there, so at least I used one of my glitter paints. Okay, didn't notice there was some crunchy bits in here, so I can see at least one of the blues that I have here. Should be enough for what I have. Yes, it's gonna need a second coat. Do detective blue I no longer have, or at least not much of it left. Just marine blue. And then a basic brown. Oh boy, this looks kind of dried out. If you make a little, then it dries out a lot quicker. I used to be so happy with your little furry thing. Okay, so this chocolate milk with lots of milk and cream. I'm running out of it. Which is, it was one of my skin tones. I already have Mink's coin, so that one is done. Still need to do this. Well, you can go with the same brown. Can I still make it a little more lighter because it's getting dark outside? No, this is the lightest I'm gonna get. Okay. We have about half an hour left. Actually, a little bit. I think I can go longer this time because no, half an hour. Half an hour. The mermaid character. The mermaid character. Let's start with that. Let's look up her colors because I don't know that by heart. I do have a feeling, but okay. Pink hair, lilac tail, blue body, and a very light blue. I'm gonna mix. First, get the foil off. Then get the remains of chocolate over there. There we go. Okay, so I want a very bright blue, but I want a hint of green in there. That's our hint of green. First gonna shake. That's the main color. Go. Thank you. And considering I just diluted this, let's see how close we're gonna get. Bit too dark still, but I haven't mixed up everything just yet. So get from the bottom, scrape from the bottom. Because it's going to dry darker. Lovely color, too dark. That's okay, we can still add some white. Okay, that's probably way too much. But let's see, I can always add a little bit of darkness. No, this is getting there. This is gonna. This is a nice mid-baby bluish, sky blue. Nice consistency. Okay, that was a bit too much. That's my own mistake. That's why I wear an apron, because I kind of need that. I need those full body ones they give to toddlers. So if you ever want to give me a gift, give me a full body apron. Probably XL size, so make it a little bit bigger because I like to wear things underneath it. And I technically don't like sleeves. So again, if you don't like the colors, feel free to do it yourself differently. Oh, wait. I still need to put a color code on it. A swatch. Okay, now I need a pink, but I need to have it bright. The pink I already have is not bright enough. And this one is too bright. Right? No, this is the right. That's her fin. This is her hair. Might actually be a bit too dark. And also a bit too clunky. So diluting it means more layers, but it does lay on nicer. Okay, that's different brush needed. That's too big. I believe this is the same color used for Chibi Moon. Been using this brush so long. It's one of my favorite brushes. I can't even remember. I know I got it from Bookfest. That was an event where they sold, well, books, for example, but also some craft supplies, and that was always, yeah, that things they gained from foreclosures and stuff like that, opkopers. So you could find weird stuff, and when it's gone, it was gone, just gone. And they had 2 sets of brushes with interchangeable heads. I mean, this one can just be pulled off. So it was travel sets. But this is the one I always used and still use. Okay. Do I have... It's getting darker in here. Because it's getting darker outside and still have a lighting issue. I technically only have a couple of lights. Hopefully it gets fixed next week. It's a bit red. Do I have something? Oh, that's way too much water, but that's okay. I can manage. Paint is still holding shape. It's pretty much the right paint. So let's see if I can make it last. I don't know, there's a blue in here. There's one purple paint that just keeps on remaining sticky when it's dry. You can just peel it off, so I'd rather not use that. I think I'm going to use this one for the tail. Because technically the tail was a mix of blue and pink. Make it a bit bluish lilac. And I added a few extra fins, diverting from the original design because I like side fins. They don't really have much purpose, but I like them. Yes, I still have a lot of paint, still unused paint. And I always celebrate when I manage to finish a tube or something like that. I try not to buy new paint, except when they have colors I use a lot or are pre-mixed. And I think, yeah, I'm probably going to need this color. Come on, guys, I don't have much paint on it. I think I first need to dry my old rags and then I can put it in the dirty paint water so it can absorb the dirty paint water. I think that's the way to go. Okay, cool. So that means that my rags are used twice now. Just like my steering sticks. I use them at work for my little soup. Then I take them home, then I wash them. And then even after broken, still use them unless I really can't hold it anymore. I use whatever I can until it's absolutely gone. So yes, that does mean I have an enormous stack, but I do expect there will be a time where I won't be able to get these stuff anymore. Maybe a retirement or something like that, and then I can still work the same way I'm used to. And I want yellow, yellow. And to be honest, I only have yellow, but I want it a bit shiny yellow. That's orange. One more check. No, I always make use the same for my yellow, and now I want to mix it a bit more brighter. Whole song about that. Because this is quite light. And I want primary yellow in there. I do have one there, but I need that for another project. Ooh. Why not? Why not a little bit of neon? A little bit of water. I really need to fill this bottle for next time. Oh, I already had neon paint over here. Oh, well. You go over here just in case. This is a very nice, shimmery, bright yellow. And yes, it's a bit thin at the moment, but it will dry out slightly. Okay, that's a bit too much. Downside of neon is that it layers enormously bad. That's why I seeded it with the glitter yellow. This one won't be able to obtain it anymore because the kick moved away from Nieuwegein. But I have a second bottle because I know the yellow I use a lot. The other colors less, but the yellow absolutely use that immensely. Where's my mouse? There's my mouse. And I do like the subtle shimmers. I mean, it used to be a lot more shimmery, but because I put in a not shimmery one, it's gonna need extra coats, I'm well aware. But yeah, I really like mixing my own paint. It's a bit brighter than the original, but it supposedly it should dry darker. So this is actually way too dark for a tail, but you know, who knows? Maybe I can brighten it a bit with mica powder. Where to dry? Where to dry? Fine, you dry over here. Suit is done. The pride flags are over there. I'm just not gonna paint them this time. And we have young. Same color. Same color. Right? Yeah, I only have this color. Almost done, almost done. I think I'm gonna add a dot of that. Just look at it. Just making his eyes a tad brighter, because he is the guardian of light. Here's, it's getting chunky. Oh. Ah! Little bit of water. And with a little bit, it's probably way too much already. I'm also getting tired, so I don't have a mermaid coin. I need to send a message to myself. Do not forget, mermaid coin. And let's send it before I forget. I mean, the worst thing that can happen is that I have 2 coins for my mermaid. Where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Dragon, mermaid, coin, exclamation marks. I think this was a skin tone with some red through it. Okay, so I'm going to finish the way I started with our little cat monument preparedness thingies. I'm quite on schedule. Sis is picture ready. Not finished, but picture ready. Hughes is picture ready. Lurball, probably gonna finish it in 2 or 3 weeks. Malin is already done. Karen is done. Hannah-chan is done. Ren is working on. Whisper Shadow Hunter done. Irina done, or picture ready. Let's call it picture ready. Shura done. Saffron, well, we're working on it. At least we got some first layers. And Spring, also quite far already. Graven done. Caterpie, working on. Pardon me. Then working on Kasumi done. Yume done. Mermaid accessory drying. Mink drying. Mermaid drying. Then we have Suta done. Pride Flex done. Young drying. And then we can include Summer. Summer's for the next time. Karen drying. Metapod should be done. Let me check. Yep, Metapod is done. Then Hale, working on. Cal, well, bit of a drying, right? Or no, that's not Cal. Cal is over there. Umi done. AD still needs more. Grasshopper done. Shay working on. Will done. Marine working on. Autumn. Voice working on. Butterfree working on. And the heavy ball. We'll start that next time. Navy working on. Courage. Where's Courage? Oops, pardon me. Eerie. And Tenshi. Tsunami is done. Raven working on. Winter, of course. Tenshi. Foamy and Foamy. And Ring. So these still need to first coat. Others are working on. And I only need to make one more coin for the Dragon Mermaid. And others should have coins. Iris coin is already done. So Stenshi's. That's nice. So yeah, little coin work today, but that's okay. So these are priorities. The ones over there are for next year's, the final years. Let's continue our little cat guardian. And of course, it looks very black on the screen, by the way, but it's not that black in real life. It's not Venta Black, which would have been nice, by the way, working with Venta Black. But, you know, we want to kind of see the memorial. I do want to find a way that one day if I'm no longer here and the house needs to be emptied, that someone can still use this cat memorial, maybe as a centerpiece or whatever. Not that it has to be tossed like the names are on there permanently. Probably are going to be a way to put them on permanently, but I'm not sure just yet. All I have is the bowl this is going to be in. That was a broken purple planter, but I repaired it and added gold to the lines of things that broke. You know, that the Japanese way of fixing things. I really don't know what it's called at the moment, so I can't really. I actually should not be painting this on this little flap. Let's put it up, because I have experienced that things then just okay, phew. That's something I need to repaint, but that's okay. Rather repaint than losing it. There's no deadline for this memorial either. So yeah, I got a planter and I'm going to add fake plants, fake flowers, because that way it looks pretty forever. And considering this is the last piece I'm doing, I can let it stand here until it's dry. And what about my Galaxy Bulbasaur? Same, no deadline. And I'm going to use the Bulbasaur as practice. I'm not very fond of the fact that this cat has a bow tie. Also not very fan of the eyes. Maybe if everything is going to be black, otherwise you probably won't even see that bow tie. And these eyes, well, yeah. I'm not used to painting on plaster. Of course, I did it as a kid. But then I was always taught first do a layer of white, otherwise it will suck in the paint. And then recently I went to a cross part, let's call it like that. And there was no time for putting a white layer on first. And that's when I found out that this dark color, if it gets sucked in, it's fine. Probably gonna need to clean this. Okay, so everything else underneath here I can't reach right now. And I first spray painted it, let that soak in. And now this paint. And okay, why is the little pointies of white here? Go away. You need to be the darkness. And it looks very black on screen, but this is already drying. And that's a very, very matte black. But it's not black. It's like dark anthracite. Yeah, the fact I decided to make things picture ready and then work on it later, so I have more things at the same time. That gave me a lot of rest, calm. I mean, this one's pretty much done. Just needs mica powder. But if I do that all at the same time, I don't need to first do this, then do that, then do that. That's just a bit chaotic. So picture ready first, and then finishing it. You already dry enough here? Nope. Should not touch. Use a lot of silicone mats, and cleaning is a bit annoying. Okay, brush is done. Need to grab extra water, or at least not yet, but maybe next time with a break. Lots of painty fingers. Yeah, I think this is it for today. Could do a half an hour extra, but actually I'm tired. I'm on schedule. Let's see, Geos. Geos, I can't do the eyes. I mean, that's just a couple of dots, so that's something I can do. That would mean Geos is also picture ready. There we go. Geos is picture ready. Not done at the sides. And yeah, it's except his coin. His coin is still needs to be done. But it's okay. I mean, I can do that. Probably gonna paint some gold coins. Yeah, I think this is it for today. Did good. Pat yourself on the shoulder. Where's my little mouse? I'll be seeing you. Bye bye. Oh, wait.